Who doesn't love to get something for nothing? Free-to-play FPS games sounds like a great deal, right? Have you ever taken the time to ask yourself why some free-to-play FPS games are so addictive and hard to give up, or why you end up spending more money on them than you intended? Are these free games affecting my brain and mental health? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you might want to watch this video until the end, because today we're exploring the pitfalls of free-to-play FPS games and how they can impact your life. Free-to-play games are becoming more and more popular these days, offering all the fun and excitement with no price tag. But how true is that really? This conference from the CEO of TribeFlame in 2016 discusses the tricks of the free-to-play model and how to implement microtransactions into games.
Here to talk about monetization. It's Let's Go Whaling. It is about a summary of a huge bunch of behavioral psychology. So the tricks on how to monetize a game well. Some of you will probably be slightly shocked by all the tricks I have listed here, but I'll leave the morality of it out of the talk. We can discuss it if we have time later.
That quote speaks volumes about the practices and raises many questions of the morality while monetizing games. They're designed to make money from you by providing basic skins or items and locking the cool ones behind a paywall or grind. One of the most common ways to do this is through microtransactions. These games use different techniques to hook you in and keep you playing longer than you planned. Some of the techniques might sound familiar to you. Having reward systems. You only have to reflect on a few years ago. Loot boxes were everywhere, and they were the most predominant microtransaction pushed in games. These rewards were usually random and unpredictable, which created a sense of anticipation and excitement. But the more glaring issue was, you could purchase loot boxes with real money. Belgium actually set legislation in 2018 banning loot boxes from games, arguing they were comparable to online slot machines. Shortly after, AAA games started to phase out loot boxes and focusing on other monetization strategies. These games are great at taking advantage of FOMO, often with limited time events or sales in the store, with the promise that the rewards will never be returning again. Fear of missing out is a psychological phenomenon that makes you feel anxious or regretful about missing an opportunity. This can pressure you to feel like you have to play now or you're going to miss out, or that you have to spend money before it's too late. This might make you act quickly and impulsively. The game may create a false impression that the items you are buying are rare or limited. They may also affect your financial well-being, with purchases seeming small at first, but can quickly snowball into a more expensive habit, especially if you spend more than you can afford. Therefore, it's important to be mindful of how much money you spend on these games, and try to avoid falling for these tricks and traps. There are many criticisms and complaints about the quality of free-to-play games, and some of them suggest that free-to-play gaming may have negative effects on the gaming industry and culture. These are some of the pitfalls that free-to-play games may create or encounter. However, this doesn't generally mean that they're inherently bad or harmful. There are many benefits and opportunities that these games can offer. As there's no barrier to entry, it's more accessible and everyone can play. But the key is to be aware of the potential risks and challenges that free-to-play gaming entails, and to make informed and responsible choices. These are some of the common psychological tricks that free-to-play games use to affect your brain and behavior. However, not all free-to-play games are malicious or exploitative, and not all players are equally susceptible to these effects. The key is to be mindful of how these games work and how they make you feel, and to play them in moderation within your budget. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and have a better understanding of how these tactics work within the free-to-play market. And if you did enjoy the video, giving it a like and hitting that subscribe button would be really appreciated. But until next time, look alive, you're on in 5, later guys.